gonna be like, I'll be out in raptors, so I'll be fine.
All right, so today we knock out 3.5. And this will be systems of equations. And we'll be focused on 3 variables in here. It does start out with doing 2 variables. So once I turn my 3 variables into a 2 variable system, I'll show you from that point on would be basically the support part or the one or first 2 equations, okay? So I'm going to actually put what steps I do to these to solve them. So steps to solve it. So I'm going to have 3 equations with 3 variables, x, y's, and z's in them all, okay? So y'all, solving systems of equations is all about eliminating variables, okay? So I've got 3 equations. So the first thing I do is I choose 2 of the 3 equations to add together. And eliminate one of the variables. So it may be possible, if needed, one or both of the rows can be changed. So if needed, one or both equations can be changed to eliminate a variable. So y'all, what that means, say I want to eliminate my x's. Well, to eliminate them, they both have to have opposite signs. I need 2x and a negative 2x in order for them to eliminate. If I don't have that kind of situation, I can change the rows to make it where I can eliminate them, okay? So next, we started with 3 equations. I used 2 of them. Now, I got to use the last equation. So use the last equation. And either of the other 2 equations to eliminate the same variable. So y'all, if I eliminated x with the first 2, when I use that third equation, I got to get rid of the x still, okay? Once again, if needed, one or both equations can be changed to eliminate the variable. After we do this, we will have a system of 2 equations. So at this point, we now have a system of 2 equations. So if I got a system of 2 equations, that means I'm going to have 2 variables left. I started with 3, now I'm down to 2 variables. So y'all, now that I'm down to two variables, I got to figure out what's the next variable I'm going to eliminate. So, choose a variable to eliminate by adding the two equations together. And guess what? For the third time, if needed, one or both equations can be changed. So if needed, one or both equations can be changed. All right, let's see. Would it be Cromer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so I'm eliminating my second variable. At this point, that's going to leave me one variable. So at that point, I'm going to solve for the variable. So solve for the remaining variable. So you'll either have x, or y, or a z equal to some number at that point. So we're happy. Once I got my remaining variable solved for, I'm then going to back substitute. So back substitute the solution for the variable in one of the two equation systems. So in one of the two equations from the two equation system. So I have to substitute that one answer into a x or y or z that's in the two equation system. Solve that for that other variable. At that point, I now know what two of the solutions were. So since I now know what two of my variables equal, I'm going to back substitute them. So back substitute the two known variables into one of the three original equations. So y'all, I'll be putting two of my variables in, solving for the third one. So at that point, I'm done. Once I back substituted into the big system, okay? I'll then be able to solve for the last variable. So your solutions will come in the form of an ordered triple. So solutions are in the form of an ordered triple. It is basically the same thing as an ordered pair. Ordered triple will have an X, a Y, and a Z. And you gotta put them in the parentheses if they don't give you the parentheses in the math lab, okay? It seems like sometimes they'll give you the parentheses and you put the answer in, and then sometimes you just got to put everything. Okay. So we're going to start working some of these. So they're tricky at first, but once you get used to them, they're not too bad, okay? But they can be long problems, okay? Now, I sent out a video today, and it'll show you how to do them on the calculator. And in that last probably, I'll show you how to do them on the program I put on the calculator. So 2 ways on the calculator, you can knock these out, okay? So we're going to solve the system of equations. So y'all, the most important thing to me on these is getting these numbers right when you first write this down, okay? So I got x plus y plus z equals 6. 2x plus 4y plus 2z equals 10. And then I got a negative x plus 8y minus 3z equals negative 21. So that's my system I'm going to solve. So, y'all, the first thing I do is label my rows. I got row 1, row 2, and row 3. That way I can just sort of keep up with them and let y'all know what I'm going to do. So I'm looking at this. Do I want to get rid of the x's, the y's, or the z's? And I'll tell you, if you want to eliminate work and do the least amount of work, I'd probably eliminate these x's. Because I see right off the bat, some of these rows will get rid of x's right off the bat, okay? So remember, I got to do this twice since I got 3 equations. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add row 1 and row 3. So I'm going to add the top one and the bottom one and get rid of the x's. So I got x plus y plus z equals 6, negative x plus 8y minus 3z equals negative 21. But notice, I'm able to get rid of the x's because the x and the negative x had to give me 0. 1y plus 8y is 9y minus 1 minus 3 is a negative 2z, and that's going to equal a negative 15. But notice what I got. I now got a equation with 2 variables in it instead of 3, okay? So this equation I just got will be my equation number 4. So notice what I had on my notes. I've gotten rid of the first variable. Now, I used row 1 and I used row 3 to get rid of that x. I now have to use, no matter what, row 2 and one of the other 2 rows to get rid of the x again. So y'all, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take row 2 and I'm going to add that to row 3 to get rid of the x's, but I got to do something to row 3, right? Because row 3 just got an x, and I need to get rid of a 2x. So can I not multiply row 3's whole row by a 2? So multiply this row by 2, that'll give me negative 2x. That's going to add to the 2x and get rid of the x's, okay? So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to multiply row 3 by 2, and then add to row 2. So I'm going to multiply row 3 by 2, and then add that to row 2 to get rid of them x's again. So here we go. If we multiply row 3 by 2, we'll get a negative 2x, positive 16y, minus 6z equals a negative 42. So I'm multiplying the whole row by the 2. I'm now going to add that to row 2, which was a 2x plus 4y plus 2z equals 10. But look, the x's are now going to cancel. So I cancel the x's. 16 plus 4 give me 20y. Negative 6, positive 2 give me negative 4z. And then a negative 42 and a positive 10 give me a negative 32. That will now be row 5. So I added together, got my row 4, added the other one with either of the first two, and got my row 5. So let's see what we got. We now got a row 4 sitting here. That was 9y minus 2z equals negative 15. Row 5 was a 20y minus 4z equals negative 32. So y'all, at this point, I'm starting a system of 2 equations with 2 variables. So if you got support, this is where you'll be sort of learning how to do that part. Okay? So I got y's and z's left. I got to pick one of them letters to eliminate. And you know, I tell you what, it's going to be easier to get rid of them z's, it looks like, than the y's. Because the y got a 20 and a 9, I'm going to have to change both of those. But notice, I got a negative 4z here. I can multiply this negative 2 by something to make it a positive 4 to cancel, right? So here's what I'm going to do to this one. I'm going to multiply row 4 by negative 2. Right, I got a negative 2z sitting there. If I multiply by negative 2, that'll make that a positive 4z. But we got to do that to the whole row. So multiply row 4 by negative 2 and add to row 5. So we're going to change 4 so that we can add it to 5. So multiplying by negative 2 gives you a negative 18y plus negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4z. That'll equal to negative 15 times negative 2, which is a positive 30. Now, I don't have to change row 4, so that is now a 20y minus 4z equals negative 32. Which y'all notice by changing them 2 rows, I had to change the top one only, but by changing it, I can now get rid of the z's. So let's add and see what we got. Negative 18 plus 20 gives me a 2y. The z's cancel. And y'all, 30 plus a negative 32 leaves me a negative 2. So I got one variable left. We can solve that now, right? Yeah. So we're going to solve for the y. So 2y equals negative 2. I'm just basically going to divide both them by that 2. So I now know y is negative 1. So y'all got my first variable down, 2 to go. Now this is where I'm gonna start back substituting and then back substitute again, okay? All right. So this has now got to back substitute into equation 4 or 5. So that was these two equations right here, 4 and 5, right? Which one looks easier for y'all? So really, if you like smaller numbers, I would probably play with that number 4 here. So I'm just going to plug my -1 back into equation 4. So y is -1, so that'll give me 9 times -1 minus 2z equals -15. But y'all could have picked the other one and did 20 times the -1, okay? All right, so since you're plugging in the number, the first thing you're going to do is multiply that 9 times that -1. So -9 minus 2z equals -15. You can tell my z's got a line to them and my 2's don't, okay? So someone was asking me that earlier. But yeah, so we're probably going to what, add that 9 to both sides, get it moved over. So I get -2z and then -15, +9 is a -6. So it looks like one more move, I know what the z is going to equal. I'm going to come in and divide both sides by the -2. So all these negatives are going to make me a +z equal to a +3. But y'all notice now I got the y I know is -1, z I know is -3. So now back substitute for both variables into 1, 2, or 3. So you got to go back to the 3 original equations. And if I was looking at this, to me, the easiest one is definitely number 1, right? X plus y plus z equals 6. So I'm just going to back substitute into that. I don't know the x. I do know the y was a -1, so I'm going to put a -1 in for my y. My z was a +3. And we said all that had to equal 6. But y'all remember, it don't matter which one you pick. Huh? So I just took this equation, put my -1 for the y, and then the 3 for my z, okay? I'll probably add them together first. -3, 3 minus 1 gives you a 2. And then y'all subtract that 2 and be done. So let's see, if I subtract 2, I now have x equals a +4. So now I'm ready to put my answer. So you want these in alphabetical order. Basically, it'll be the same order you're getting here. The x, the y, then the z, okay? So my x was a 4. My y was a -1. And my z, where'd it go, was a +3. So let's see if that equals 6. 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 plus 3 does equal 6. So you can add them up and check them real quick if you want to, okay? And what's nice is you can plug it into any 3 of them equations when you're checking them and be good to go.
Give me one of those numbers.
Well, I can take these 3 numbers and plug into this equation, or that equation there. And they better make true statements when we're done, okay? So y'all see what we're doing? So I'm gonna do more of these for sure, okay? These bring back memories. Have y'all done these? I would maybe think from here on y'all might have done with the two equations. But sometimes instead of doing what I'm doing, elimination method, sometimes they do what they call substitution method with y'all, where you solve one of them and then plug it into the other equation. But that don't work too nice when you got three equations. So these we're just going to solve by eliminating, okay? All right, so let me get number 2 going. All right, now let's see. So this one has 6x minus a y plus a z is going to equal 6. Equation 2 has 2x plus 2y minus 3z is going to equal 2. And my third equation has an x minus 3y plus 2z is going to equal 1. So we now got the system, so I'm going to call this 1, 2, and 3. You know, it don't look like anything. It's just going to cancel right off the bat by adding or subtracting. So it looks like we will be doing some row changing on these, okay? So I'm going to erase this part right here so I can have room. So which one want me to get rid of? X's, Y's, or Z's? I heard something. What did I say?
I guess we do X.
X? Okay, so I'm going to eliminate X's. So remember this, all those X's are positive, which means I will be multiplying somebody by some negative somewhere, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start out with row 2 and 3. I'm going to multiply row 3 by a negative 2. And that'll give me a negative 2x. That'll add to that 2x and cancel it, right? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to multiply 3 by negative 2 and add to row 2 to eliminate x. Okay, we're going to eliminate the x. That means when I use the other row, I still got to get rid of the x's, okay? So multiply row 3 by negative 2. That'll give you negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 3 gives you a positive 6y. Negative 2 times 2 gives you negative 4z. Negative 2y1 is negative 2. So that's row 3 multiplied by negative 2. Bring in row 2 to add to it. 2x plus 2y minus 3z equals a positive 2. All right, let's see if that works. So my negative 2x, positive 2x cancel. 6y plus 2y give you 8y. Negative 4 and negative 3 give me negative 7z. And then move negative 2 and 2 give me a big old 0. So I now have my row 4. Now we got to get row 5. But y'all remember, since I used row 2 and 3 that time, I now have to use row 1. So we got 2 choices. I'm going to take row 1 and add to either row 2 or 3. So what y'all want? And I got to change either one of them. So if I want to keep my number smaller, I'm going to play with number 2, okay? So if it's a positive 6, I need to turn that 2 into a negative 6. So I'm going to multiply row 2 by negative 3. So multiply row 2 by negative 3 and add to row 1 to get rid of x. I got to get rid of the same letter or my 2 by 2 system won't have the right stuff in it, okay? So I'm going to multiply 2 by negative 3, so that'll give me negative 6x minus 6y plus 9z equals negative 6. I'm adding that to row 1, which was a 6x minus a y plus a z equals positive 6. Oh, I'm getting good on, I'm getting lucky on this one. I'm getting a lot of zeros on this. But these x's cancel. Negative 6, negative y, give me negative 7y. 9z plus 1z gives me 10z. And that's going to equal a big O 0. So that looks like that'll be row 5. Oh, we got an ugly one here, but it's going to work. All right, so let's put that together, row 4 and 5. Row 4, I had 8y minus 7z. Equals 0. Row 5 was a negative 7y plus 10z equals 0. All right, so I'm going to verify my numbers all right before I go further. All right, y'all, so really no matter which one you pick, you're going to have to find big numbers. Because if I eliminate the y's, let me start out, I don't know, y'all want to eliminate the, so we got the choice between y's and z's. Which y'all want to get? The y's? So now I'm going to eliminate these y's. But notice I got a 7 sitting there and a 10. My signs are good. I got one negative, one positive. So the smallest number that both of these can go into looks like 70. Right? Because 35 killed me on that 10, and anything else is killing me on that 7, okay? So 70 is the smallest number these will both go into. It's almost finding least common denominators on these, okay? So what I'm going to do is multiply row 4 by 10 and multiply row 5 by 7. So 10 by 7 on the top will give me 70 negative. 10 times 7 on the bottom will give me positive 70. So then we'll actually start canceling. And then add the rows together. So here we go. Multiply row 4 by 10. So that'll give me 80y minus 70z equals 0. Multiply row 5 by 7 will give me a negative 49y plus 70z equals 0. So, no matter what happens, I know one of these numbers is going to equal a big 0 probably, right? But no, the z's are going to cancel now because we got 70 and negative 70. So now let's see, what is 80 minus 49? Like 31. So 31y, z's cancel, and all of that's equal to a 0. So for sure, y is, so now solve for the y. So y'all had 31y equals 0. Well, by the thing we call the zero product rule, if your answer is 0, then by God, one of them has to be a 0, right? So here you go, make it official, divide by 31, and y is definitely 0. All right, so now if you remember, since I know y is 0, I'm going to back substitute into equation 4 or equation 5. So what I got, a y. So either one of them would be easy. So I probably pick that because that's got a positive z, and I know I'm putting in a 0. So I'm going to use equation 5. Negative 7 times 0 plus 10z equals 0. Right? Well, that's a 0 plus 10z equals 0. Let's think next I can add 0 and 10z, so I get 10z equals 0. Boy, looks like I'm getting a lot of zeros from this one, ain't it? So now let me divide by the 10 to make that official. And z, anything, 0 divided by anything is still going to be a big old 0. I know the y and the z are 0, so now I got to find that x. So now I'm going to substitute. So back substitute into 1, 2, or 3. So here's my 1, 2, and 3 over here. Whoops, I had what here? 6. Might need that. So, hell, any of them will work.
Always do one.
Number 1?
Yeah.
So I don't know the x yet, so I got 6x. But I know the y is 0, so that's minus 0. I know the z is 0, and all that's going to equal 6. So y'all, looks like to me all them zeros are gone, and all I'm going to get over this left side is my 6x. But I now have 6x equals 6. So I'm finally not getting a 0 for this one.
Yeah.
So let's divide that by 6 and be done. So x is now 1. So my actual answer would be the 1 comma. Well, it don't matter what order I put them in, they're both zeros, right? So 1 comma 0 comma 0. Okay. But like I said, if you put that in here, 6 times 1 is 6, minus 0 is 6, minus 0 is 6. So they work out when you sort of plug them back in there to check them. All right, make sure I got my time. That was it, so let's start right here. Now, the main thing I will say, who has support in here? I know you do,
Yeah.
you do. On the support, when they do the 2 systems, watch out, because one of them they got out of order, and you always want the X's in one column, the Y's lining up, and then the numbers, okay? But they do put one out of order, so be aware of that. All right, I got time to turn it on up on this one, okay? All right, y'all. 7R minus S plus T equals 26. 4R plus 2S minus 3T is going to equal 18. And then R minus 3S plus 2T is going to equal -4. So y'all, this row is all S's, okay? That's the only thing about math when you start using different letters and like that, O's or zeros or S's or 5s. So here we go. We got row 1, row 2, and row 3. So anyone got any picks of any letters you want to eliminate? And I would say, let's see, I'll tell you what, the S's and T's are about the same to me. And both of them probably look a little easier than the R's. But you got 7s and 4s on that R, so that might be a little crazy on a LCD type thing. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the first 2 rows first and eliminate me a S by multiplying row 1 by 2. Because you got a -1 sitting there. If I multiply the whole row by 2, that'll give me a -2S. That'll add to that and be gone. So I'm going to multiply row 1 by 2 and then add to row 2 to get rid of S. All right, so let's multiply row 1 by 2. So that'll give you 14R minus 2S plus 2T equals 26 times 2 is what, 52? Now bring down row 2. We don't have to change it. 4R plus 2S minus 3T equals 18. So I'm getting rid of S's. So I'm going to have me some R's here. So 14 and 4 give me 18R. S's are gone. 2T minus 3T gives me -1T. And then let's see, 52 and 18, that's 60 and 10 is what, 70? This is now row 4. Now, here's the thing. I used 1 and 2 to eliminate an S. Now, no matter what, I've got to use row 3 with one of these other rows. Now, we don't like doing a lot of math, so I would probably pick row 3 and change row 1. So if you pick 2 and 3, you'd have to change both of those to get rid of that S. But that's got a -3S. So if I want to eliminate an S, and that's a -1S, I'm going to multiply row 1 by
I'm sorry.
negative, right? Because you got, since they're both negative, I have to multiply that by negative to change its sign. But then add to row 3 to get rid of S. All right, so multiply row 1 by -3. Woo, that's going to give you a -21R plus 3S minus 3T. All right, 26 times 3, let's see, that's going to be a -78. Now, I didn't have to change row 3, so let's bring that down. I got an R minus 3S plus 2T equals -4. Once I get them added together, I will have row 5. All right, let's see what I got. -21 plus 1 gives you -20R. S is cancel. -3T and positive 2T give me -T. And then a -78 plus a -4 is what? A -82. All right, so I got two equations now, 4 and 5, that have two variables each that are R's and T's. So let me write 4 and 5 over here. So y'all, 4 was 18R minus a T equaled 70. 5 was a -20R minus a T equals -82. One of them letters looks a lot easier to me than the other one. So I think I'm going to get rid of them T's. But notice they're both negative T's, so I'm going to have to multiply one of them rows by a -1. So if you don't like this -20 sitting down here on this R, I'm going to do this. I'm going to multiply row 5 by -1 and then add 2 row 4. So watch this. Multiply -1 by row 5. Negative times negative makes that a 20R. Negative times negative makes that a positive T. And then negative times negative makes that a positive 82. So really, when you multiply by -1, y'all, all you're doing is changing everybody's sign on them, okay? All right, bring down row 4, which was an 18R minus a T equaled 70. All right, also, looks like the T's are going to be gone. So let's think. We got 20R plus 18R. That's like 38R. T's are gone. And over here, I get 152. So I'm wondering, will that 152 divide by that 38? Well, let's see. We're now going to solve for the R. So it looks like I'm going to divide both sides by 38. So that cancels to get R equals. So y'all, 152 divided by 38. That's going to be an actual 4 perfect, right? We all got one variable, R equals 4. So now I got to back substitute into 4 or 5 and solve for their variables. So now we're going to back substitute into 4 or 5. So let's see. I'll probably do 4 because it's got a positive 18R. Both of them have negative T's. So I'm going to do the 4. So I have 18 times R, which is 4, minus T equals 70. All right, y'all. So what is 18 times 4?
72.
So I got 72 minus T equals 70. All right, y'all, next one was subtract 72 from both sides. get my t by itself. So I know 70 minus 2 is a negative 2. Y'all, here's where I get a lot of people. I added that 72 to both sides and got rid of the 72. What are you bringing down on the left side?
-2.
Negative t. There you go. Good job. I have a lot of people that just bring down the t and they forget about that negative sitting there. And that will throw the answers off. All right, y'all divide both sides by the -1. So now I know t is positive 2. So r is 4, t is 2. So now I'm going to back substitute into 1, 2, or 3. So 1, 2, or 3, I'll help this erase them. That was the R and that was okay. Go ahead, I'll do number 1. It wasn't that bad. Number 1 was 7r. R I know is 4. Minus the S. S I don't know yet. Plus a t. I know t is 2. And all that is going to equal 26. So I just went with my equation 1 on that, okay? So let's see, I know 7 and 4 is 28. So 28 minus an S plus 2 equals 26. Yo, let's add these like terms together. 28 and 2 give me 30. So 30 minus S equals 26. Now let's minus the 30 from both sides. All right, so I'm going to bring that up. So the 30 is 10, so I'm now going to have a negative S equals 26 minus 30 is what, negative 4? And then once again, divide by that -1. Can't keep the S negative, so we divide by -1. And look at that, S is a positive 4. So it looks like I got what's first? R is 4, S is 4, and T was 2. So then you can just plug that into any of them. So 7 times 4 is 28. Minus 4 is 24. Plus 2 is 26. Okay. So, what word problem are you working on back there? Have you done the triangles?
Yes,
You figured out?
kind of.
Oh, hell, well, let's mark one of them and I'll show you. This is the same stuff, y'all. Word problem style, okay? So in triangle ABC, the measure of angle B. So angle B is 4 degrees more than A. So then angle A. So angle B is 4 more than angle A. Angle C, so angle C is 41 more than A. Find the measure of each angle. So what I got here is a triangle ABC. ABC. Okay. So let me write this out what they gave me. They said angle B, so B is equals 4 more than angle A could be 4 plus A or A plus 4, right? Either way. So 4 more than angle A. So 4 plus A. Now let's interpret that second equation I had. Angle C, so C is going to equal 41 degrees more than angle A. Now we'll say this, when I start solving it, all the letters will be on one side equal to my numbers, okay? I need another equation. So this is going to go back to what do y'all know about the 3 angles of a triangle?
All sides equal the same, or no, not something else.
So you're dealing with an equilateral triangle.
Yeah.
But what do you know about them 3 angles inside that triangle?
Equal to 30 degrees.
Oh, you're so close. They equal something.
180.
180. Remember?
Oh.
So if you have a right triangle, that'd be 90, and then whatever the other 2 angles. But the 3 angles in that triangle will equal
Okay, I think I got it.
180.
ABC, okay.
So
A plus B plus C equals 180. I think I
there you go. Now, what I'm going to do is these need the A's brought on this side. So to move an A from one side to the other, you just subtract it, okay? So that'll give me a negative A plus the B equals 4. This one, you move the A over. It will give you a negative A plus the C equals 41. And then we know that A plus B plus C equals 180. So now, you don't have nothing here, it's like a big 0. And we don't have nothing in this one, so it's like a 0. Okay? So, pick another to get rid of. A? So, notice, here's 1, 2, and 3, right? So if I want to get rid of A, I'm going to add row 1 and 3 first, and then I'll come back and add row 2 and 3. Okay? So y'all want to eliminate the A, so I'm going to add 1 and 3 to get rid of A. So add 1 and 3. So that's a negative A plus a B plus a 0 equals 4. And then 3 was a A plus a B plus a C equaled 180. So that was 1 and 3. Okay. Well, you got rid of the A's. So B plus B is 2B plus a C equals 184. So that's now row 4. Now, if I used 1 and 3, this time I gotta use 2 and 3. So now I'm gonna add 2 and 3. And once again, I don't have to change the rows because I got a negative A and a positive A. So negative A plus 0 plus C equals 41. A plus B plus C equals 180. When I add them, I'll have row 5. But you did good, the A's are gone. 0 plus B gives me a B. C plus C is 2C. Well, 180 and 41 is like 221. So let's see what I got. Row 4. 2B plus C equals 184. Row 5 is a B plus 2C equals 221. Now notice, either one of them variables are easy to get rid of. Just got to multiply one of them rows by -2, right? Because I got a 2B, multiply that one by -2 and wire. I got a 2C, multiply the first one by -2. So B's or C's? So we're gonna get rid of the B. So to get rid of the B, I'm gonna multiply 5 by -2 and add 2 row 4, okay? So here we go. That'll give me a -2B minus 4C equals a -442. Now bring down the other one, which was a 2B plus a C equals 184. Well, we'll say this, we at least got rid of the B's, right? The B's are gone. So -4 and 1 give me -3C. And get that on the calculator. That -442 and a 184. It's too early on a Monday. And these ain't bad, you just gotta figure out that third equation on this one.
It's -258.
-258. Now divide that by that -3.
86.
It was
86.
86. I now know that angle C is 86 degrees. So I got about 94 more degrees to find on these two other angles, right? But look at this. Here's 3 equations. You know C, right? So wouldn't this be really quick to get to A? Yeah, so that wouldn't be bad. Or I could go to one of these if I wanted to. Where's my 4 and 5? Or one of these. So let's back substitute into, we got the C. So I'm gonna put it right here. Because you got a B. So I'm gonna back sub into 4 or 5. So I'm gonna use 5, y'all. I don't know the B, but I know that B plus 2 times C, which is 86, is going to give me 221. All right, 2 times 86. So 160 and 12. I'm getting what, 170?
172.
And all that's going to equal 221. So my last move, subtract that 172 from both sides. So now we know that the B is going to equal
49.
how many?
49.
49. All right, I got 2 angles now. I got angle C is 86, angle B is 49. I know the whole triangle is 180. So add them 2 together and subtract them from 180 and be done. So I'm just going to go right here. I don't know A. I know B was 49. I know C, we said, was 86, and all those equal 180. So I think this is 135 here, Ron. So A plus 135 equals 180. Subtract that 135 from both sides and we should be done.
45.
How many did you get?
45.
45. So let's see if this works. 86 plus 49 plus 45. So that's 15, 20. 2 and 8 is 10, 14, 18. Look at that. 180 degrees. Does that make sense? So that's the only one you really had to figure out the third equation. The rest of them, they sort of like, they're going to give you like pizzas and cupcakes, and you got to figure out milligrams of cholesterol or whatever. Those ones are pretty much in order and stuff. So. And that's actually not too bad. It's only like 4 or 5 questions in it, I think. All righty, also, any questions online? I will say this.
No, sir.
I sent a video probably an hour ago, email to y'all. One of the videos shows you how to do this on a calculator using your matrices. So if you don't like doing all this, there's a calculator video out there I just sent today, okay?
Okay.
All righty, so we're pretty close. So if there ain't no questions, I will see y'all Wednesday. We'll pick up on these word problems. All right, y'all, hang on 1 second online. Make sure I got all y'all. Julie Brazil. Okay, you on the team. Okay. So, okay, so let's see. I know it's easy for you to count the numbers in your head, but it would help me if you work it out step by step. All right. All right, y'all, I'm gonna end this and I will see y'all Wednesday. Don't worry about the word problem. I'll start them Wednesday.
Okay.
All right, I'll see y'all later.